Australians are living longer, but there's a downside: the increasing incidence of dementia. The disease affects more than 320,000 Australians and is on track to become our #1 health problem. But there is hope. A new research centre believes a cure could be available within decades. Kieran McKechnie reports.
Mum was my best friend, and it went from us going out and doing things together as mum and daughter do, to me showing her how to shower, how to get dressed.
All right, Mum?
Nadine Hedger shows remarkable composure and courage for someone dealing daily with her mother's devastating condition.
Got up one morning and I'd run her a bath and she was sitting in it with all her clothes on, just sobbing. Because she just didn't know what to do or why the bath was there or what she was supposed to do in the bath. So it's heartbreaking for her, for someone to go through such a cognitive decline.
Denise Hedger was in her mid-50s when she first started showing signs of dementia. Now at just 65, she can't walk or talk. She lives in a nursing home, but her daughter is never far from her side.
I don't know if she knows that I'm her daughter, but she knows that I'm a nice person that comes to visit her, every day. And that's fine with me.
For Nadine Hedger, one of the hardest aspects of dealing with her mother's disorder has been the lack of wider knowledge about dementia, even within medical circles.
I doctor shopped. I went from one GP to a specialist, to a geriatrician, to a private psychiatrist, to neuropsychs, just trying to find out what we were facing. It was horrendous trying to figure out what was going to happen next or how to deal with her behaviours. No one, I'd sit with a doctor and say, forget I'm a family member, just tell me what could happen in 6 months' time. And no one could tell me because of the lack of research.
But that's fast changing, and changing right here in Queensland.
How are things going? So you got enough eggs today?
The Dementia Research Centre at the Queensland Brain Institute is the first and only of its kind to focus solely on the disease. It officially opened this year.
We've assembled what we think are the best group of neuroscientists in the world, and I think sort of outside opinion is starting to agree with that as well. So,
Institute Director Professor Perry Bartlett is talking big. He says the centre's targeted approach to investigating dementia could result in a cure within decades.
I think we will by 2050, I think undoubtedly.
That won't come a moment too soon. Already dementia is one of the top 3 killers. It could soon be Australia's #1 health problem.
By 2050, there's going to be over 1 million people in this country who suffer some form of dementia, and about 1 in 4 people over the age of 85. So with an increasingly ageing population, this is going to become a tsunami which we really have to start addressing in a real way.
The centre's scientists are also trying to delay the onset of dementia, a goal they're confident of achieving within 5 to 10 years.
Let's say I would become demented at the age of 80 and would die at the age of 85, and we could delay the age of onset by 5 years. This would then in essence mean that I would die without ever having been demented.
And we have shown now that reversing that lack of production of nerve cells, in fact, in old animals can lead to a gain of cognitive abilities. These animals can start to learn and memorise, go through mazes, etc., by activating the production of these new nerve cells. Because the machinery is still there, it's just that the production of these cells has been turned off in ageing. So there are mechanisms like that we think can be reactivated in the very old brain, in the brain of very old people, in a way to rejuvenate the processes.
While these quality of life enhancing breakthroughs will come too late for Denise Hedger, her daughter is buoyed by the hope it'll bring other families coping with the heartbreaking disease.
If there's any cure, prevention, whatever, for the next generation, I think it's wonderful, because it's just such a horrendous disease, and it's horrible. It's a really horrible long journey to go down.